Okay, so this video is a continuation of the previous one. It is the multiple choice section of SAC 2 Semester 1 2020. This is question 11. So we've got this question 3 simultaneous equations, and the best way to use it is using CAS. So I'm going to bring up CAS calculator, which is right here, and we're going to solve 3 simultaneous equations. So we go menu, algebra, solve system of equations, solve system of equations. We have 3 equations, x, y, and z. Okay, and then you just type them in. So x plus 2y minus z equals minus 2 in the first line. The next line, you type in the next one. Just check them as you go. Okay, and once you've typed them in, everything else is set up, you just press enter and you get the answer. X equals 3, y equals minus 2, and z equals 1. And if we have a look at the solutions, that is the option E. Okay, so let's continue. Going to it. Keep moving. Okay, so keep moving down the page. All right, so question 12. All right, which of the following is not a function? Now, you notice I've already annotated this. So if it is for something to be a function, so for it to be a function, you do the vertical line test. That's the fastest way. If it cuts the graph once vertically, then it is a function. So this question is asking for not a function, so which means it needs to cut it more than once vertically. You'll see that the only option is D, because it cuts the graph twice. All the other ones, no matter where you cut the graph, it will, in the vertical line test, it will cut it once. Okay, so you can do a vertical line anywhere, but in D, it will cut the graph twice. So D is not a function. Okay, let's move down. So, question 13. We are looking at the range of this function, so the y values. So what I've done is, if you have a look at this first part here, so if we're looking at the domain, so the domain you're given for this graph is -1, 4. Not including -1, not including 4. So we will find the endpoints, what those x values correspond to, so what are the corresponding y values. But we need to look at the whole function, the whole graph. So we have the graph y equals x squared minus 1, which is a parabola moved down 2. So you can see in this graph, the turning point is at -2. That is really important because that's actually the lowest point of the graph. So that will actually be part of your range. But you still need to graph the whole thing to see the whole picture. So we've got -2 in there. We put in the endpoint, so we need to find the corresponding y values for those endpoints. That's why I've subbed in -1 there and 4 into those equations, the equations, and we get the corresponding y values of -1 and 14. And so we've got those corresponding points. So that's -1. -1, and that point there is 4, 14. But we'll ask for the range. So the range is the y value. So what is the lowest? The lowest y point is -2, and it's including -2. And the highest y point is 14, but it's not including 14. That's why we've got that round bracket there. And the reason why it doesn't include 14 is because it doesn't include the x value of 4, because on the domain, that's a round circle. Okay, let's move on to question 14. Question 14 is just checking that you understand the domain. So the domain is 0 to 10, but not including 0, but including 10. And so it's not defined at x equals 0. So therefore it can't be defined at y equals 0. It will be an open circle. So that's why f of 0 is not defined. Because that's like saying where y, the y value. And the last question on the multiple choice was a circle. I believe that didn't show on some of the computer versions, but the center is, let's do it anyway, the center is 2 minus 6. The radius is 2 units of this circle. You just get that by reading off the actual graph. So therefore the equation is x minus 2 all squared plus x plus 6 all squared equals the radius squared, which is 2 squared, which is 4. So option B.